and mostly in the conclusion, we are here to seek assistance as we are very, very, very frustrated at our workplace as a result of whistleblowing against corruption amongst other things and the drugs. Because if you check, drug is a very serious issue on a community. And then the police, they know about this problem, but they are quiet on it. And members assisted to say drugs have been stolen at the lab. Then the audit, the CPN report, they did some what do you call that? Polygraphy test. Thanks. Then it also confirmed when senior managers, they are not truthful with what is happening within the forensic science laboratory, but they are quiet. Members implicated in the CPN report, they are continuing as business as usual. Nothing is happening. Hence the arrogancy. We have been victimized left and right. That's why because you are checking time, council. There's a paragraph where we deal about trump up charges. You'll see where Lieutenant General Nkoa, she's really not been sympathetic with us. She's sitting with us in a meeting with General Pierre. The finding, the conclusion of the CPN report are there. She's directed to implement the report, but when General Patani is appointed acting, she sit in a meeting, we have a minute. She sit in a meeting with General Patani where they say we must be charged. Then we were charged. But
General Kua is head of
human resource management.
HR.
Yes. She's sitting with him in the money. They agree that members must be disciplined for charges were copying in an open book test. And we challenged the appointment of the service provider because it was criminal side, crime side also. Then they said they sourced the training manual from one company from Europe, Foster and Freeman. We said, no, give us the tender processes, give us the appointment of that person and international trainer, the release letter from his company, the traveling record. There's one thing we like about the police. In the police, everything is documented. Once he arrives, there must be documentation to say he's here. Then the driver must be assigned to him. There's logistics. We requested those things, they never came. Then that guy said he never came back. At one stage, he came back for another training. I think it was in Cape Town. We wrote to the divisional commissioner, saying, Mr. Simon is here. Let's finish the case that you charged us. He never responded to the email until he was appointed acting. Then he called General Nkoa to a meeting to say, charge these members. We were charged, but subsequently we were acquitted. Then we cannot allow, and the committee cannot allow this kind of behavior when we're encouraged to whistleblow against act of corruption. But when we report corruption, we are not protected. As we started, I wanted to address address Chairperson on the issue of our protection. Because yesterday I checked the presentation of Mrs. Mashele. Honorable Ms. James asked Ms. Mashele, where are you in terms of your safety? She said, I'm alone. We can't allow that. I was touched. She's having children, family, and the loved ones. But she said, I'm alone. But we want to bring to the attention of the committee, when we go back here, things are going to be tough. That we want to be on record, because we are mentioning names of generals here that knows about everything that we reported, because they are protecting only 1%. They don't want to act. When you get to office, you mention the name of General Patani. You look to the facial reaction. You'll see you are giving that person a problem. If you say, I'm here to report this thing, then once you say General Patani, you say, hey, so it's a problem. Hence, even this brigadier, how she came back, they can't explain. And she's only back with the sole intention. Now we are told she's in charge of the finances of SAP, Forensic Science Laboratory. She's controlling everything in terms of finances, tenders and everything. She's sitting in the resource committees where tenders have been allocated and everything. This question is there.
Okay.
Not to say we are against her, but you check how the system work in the SAPS. There's a problem, honorable members. FSL, TMS, head office, there's the crime scene. That needs your attention to assist us. We went to office of General Masemola. He listened to us very attentively. He get the report, he sit with it for 2 months now. We phoned, Colonel Ramolube phoned SMS General. We have been called at the Hoc Committee. Can we see you before we go so that you can brief us on the report? He responded, I'm going to the Bloemfontein Police Day, then I'll see you. He sent an SMS again, not responding. There is a brigadier in his office, Brigadier Letoko. You send your phone, she's not responding. I'm in a meeting, I'll call you later. She never called. Till today, as we are presenting our case to the committee to say, something is wrong, please assist us. And this thing of our presentation, the annexures, we plead, or you can task us to say, go and paginate this thing, reverse it back to us. We'll do that because we are capable to paginate this thing.
Yeah,
is that we were misled or
please index and paginate the whole bundle?
We can do
so
that. We are capable to do that, Chairperson. Yeah. Okay. Is that we were given undertaking to say, when you arrive, we'll assist you, because we pleaded the secretary of the Hoc Committee to say, we don't have legal representation. We are doing this thing our own.
Okay.
Yes, we can't be frustrated by the SAPS, and then we come here, we've been frustrated by the Hoc Committee. Then it's a concern.
Okay.
I'll pause there. I don't know what the other members want to say before you close.
Gentlemen, briefly.
Yeah, Chair. Hoc Committee is our last hope. We've been to different platforms without no assistance at all. What did we get is victimization. And then as a result, we are really suffering depression due to work-related issues. Because of we are reporting theft of drugs in the lab. And this has been happening for a very long time. My first experience with the theft of drugs started in 2005. And we've been raising this issue, following the internal processes from our immediate commanders until to the National Commissioner, that the drugs that honest policemen are bringing into the lab for safekeeping.
All right, we'll leave the Parliament Ad Hoc Committee just for the moment, but we'll be right back. This is the National Pulse. Thanks for tuning in.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee, live on SAFM.
Okay, let's get right back to Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee.
You explain that both Lieutenant General Mkwanazi and Lieutenant General Khumalo, who was the head of crime intelligence and also head of the PKTT, have said in the evidence that there are drug cartels. They mentioned 5 that have infiltrated the criminal justice system. Now, if the drugs that are being returned by, as you describe, as honest police officers, are finding their way back into the community, I don't understand why General Mkonazi and General Lieutenant Kumalo would not take more seriously your complaints as persons who work right there in that division, your complaints that drugs are disappearing out of the forensic division and finding its way back into the community.
Thank you, Chair. My biggest concern, Chair, is that when we report these drugs, emails are circulated by General Pashani that we are ill-disciplined because of reporting theft of drugs. He even published in a city press, in bold, Colonel Ramulove is responsible for the information that is all over the place. I'm a police officer. It is my duty to report crime. It is my duty to serve and protect. It is my duty to protect the community. I'm putting my body online for the community. But what we get from the generals is going to the newspapers, going to the radio stations, calling out our names. I mean, by now, there's possibility that those cartels knows us now, as we sit here now. So
we know that General Pashlani, at least for the time being, he's been dismissed. He's challenging his dismissal, so he's been at least temporarily out of the system. Why do you mention his name? There's now General Sentumile, who's now in charge of that division.
Remember, Chair, media, they have the power to convince the community. And as long as we are still having the report from the media that we are the responsible parties in blowing the whistle with regard to theft of drugs, it's easy to access that. You can access that information on your cell phone at any given time. Then we are still at risk as we are sitting here for blowing the whistles on the theft of drugs in Silverton Forensic Science Laboratory. And this risk is caused by our generals. Hence now, the recommendation on this CPN report is not yet implemented 12 years back. It's sitting somewhere in an office in one of the general's safes.
Yeah.
And nobody is coming back to us to say, guys, we'll give you protection. But we are police officers.
Captain Malachi,
Chair.
are you not able to do anything? You've not been moved to legal.
No, I'm putting our life in the hands of the members of the committee to assist. But legally, as we are saying, we have been reporting this at the division. But anyway, as my colleague have alluded, we didn't get any response. We did not get any positive outcome from what we alluded to. When we report to Lieutenant General Sibia, as my colleague has said, there was a legal representative in the meeting. But however, we didn't get anything that is of assistance.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Honorable Chair, honorable committee members, thank you.
Thank you so much. Romano, do you want to say something?
Yes, Chair. No, I just want to clarify that, or maybe just to state that, it's wrong for the witness to say that he was misled by the committee secretary. The witness was invited to appear before this committee, maybe, I don't know if it was a week or two ago. And we have been talking about the issue of the annexures, for him to send the annexures, which it never happened. Even yesterday, I asked him if he was going to send us the annexures, and he indicated that they would bring the annexures, which they did today. Unfortunately, they were on the 6 o'clock flight from Joburg to Cape Town. So had they not experienced any difficulties with the flight, they would have arrived there on time and consulted with the legal advisor, with the evidence leader. So I take, serious offense for them to come and say that, I misled them. That's all that I want to say, Chair.
Okay. I don't think it's a matter that we should debate. When you go out together with the witnesses, you must find each other. Can I see the hands of members who want to speak, so that I don't assume that you are going, Honorable Vessels, your hand is not up. You are not asking questions. Yeah. Honorable Sokanyi, lays your hand up. Okay. James. Honorable Kola Barnard, your hand is not up. Okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Honorable Sangone, is it up or? Okay. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 hands. And
All right, and as they're doing their counting of 6 hands asking questions, we'll just move away from the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee just for the moment, but rest assured we will give it the attention that it warrants. A reminder that the Madlanga Commission adjourned earlier today and that will resume tomorrow. But your thoughts, your comments, hey, bring them on. Just WhatsApp us so we can bank it and play it as soon as we get an opening. Right, now it's 3:30, time for the news heads with Kolofelo Tefu.
Thank you, Ashraf. Good afternoon. In the headlines this hour, DECO Minister Ronald Lamola has lambasted those criticizing action taken against the Israeli Deputy Ambassador to South Africa, Ariel Sitman. Lamola says DECO had a number of engagements last year with Sitman to try and express its views on the constant attacks that he directed at President Cyril Ramaphosa and the government. Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Park Stau, has confirmed that South Africa remains eligible for the Africa Growth Opportunity Act. And the Madlanga Commission has heard how Witness F, or rather from Witness F, how a warrant of arrest for entertainment blogger Musa Kawula was effected. The warrant was about social media posts written by Kawula about ANC SG Fikile Mbalula and businessman Zingumalo. I'll have details on this and answer for.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound in central Johannesburg slow moving towards Crown Interchange, and there are a large number of defective traffic lights reported in the greater area, so please remember to treat these affected intersections as 4-way stops. In KZN, a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound after Market Road and a crash on the N2 northbound after Watson Highway. The left lane's closed. In Cape Town, the N1 outbound slow moving on Plattekloof Hill and Marine Drive northbound in Tableview, slow moving towards Dolphin Beach. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Tuming Khapele.
Well, to me, yesterday we said if Orlando Pirates wins last night, I expect a whole flood of people wearing pirate stops. It hasn't quite happened, but there certainly are more people with pirate stops today at the SABC HQ than yesterday.
Absolutely. I'm not wearing a Pirates jersey, but I'm wearing black. So maybe that tells the story. But a very good afternoon to you, Ashraf. Let's start things off with cricket this hour, where Proteas coach Shukri Conrad has turned his attention to white ball experimentation as he targets a first T20 World Cup title. Conrad, who guided South Africa to last year's World Test Championship win, admitted that consistency has been harder to find in T20 cricket. Since taking over the white ball side side. In May, he has used 31 players in 21 matches, winning 8. And despite mixed results, he remains very optimistic after South Africa's first T20 series victory under his leadership against the West Indies. Now, the Proteas opened their World Cup campaign against Canada on Monday, hoping to end their long wait for a major white ball trophy. In terms of football, Mamelodi Sundowns coach Miguel Cardoso has cautioned his players that reputation alone will not help them move to the next round past Gomorrah United in the Nedbank Cup round of 32 when they meet tonight. The Brazilians welcome their Motsepe Foundation Championship counterparts to Loftus Versfeld as overwhelming favourites, with expectations firmly on a comfortable passage into the last 16 of the competition. However, Cardoso, while acknowledging down superiority, insists that cup football offers no guarantees, particularly against opponents with little to lose and everything to prove.
I agree with almost everything you said. Just don't agree with your last question where you said that the younger guys from the opponent are hungrier than my players. That's exactly the mistake that, if it happens, can take out what is theoretically on our side. Because theoretically, we should be better than Gomorrah. But if we don't take ourselves in the limit, this theoretically doesn't exist, because that theory stays on the books and doesn't go inside 4 lines to play a football match. As I told you, we played against this team, and we did it with 2 teams. Basically, it was a day that we had in Clore Cup 2 teams that we invited to play 2 friendly matches. So we splitted our team one side and the other. At halftime, we changed the teams so that we had a double challenge in terms of tactical approach. And the first match at halftime, we had a positive result. And then when we swapped the teams, the second team didn't start good. And I remember I was walking from one pitch to the other, and when I arrived to see that side, I just watched a goal from Gomorrah. And then in the end, the boys made their job and they changed the result. It means that we need to really be committed with what we do on this match.
Elsewhere, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says that Arsenal will channel the magical feeling of reaching the League Cup final into their Premier League title push. The Gunners beat Chelsea 1-0 in yesterday's semi-final second leg, with Kai Havertz scoring in stoppage time to seal a 4-2 aggregate victory. It ended a run of 4 straight semi-final defeats in Europe and domestic cups, sending Arsenal to their first final in 6 years. They will face either Manchester City or Newcastle at Wembley on the 22nd of March, with City holding a 2-0 advantage ahead of today's second leg. In terms of rugby, Perth rugby fans have expressed disappointment. This is after organisers confirmed that Australia will open the 2027 Rugby World Cup against Hong Kong rather than New Zealand. Now, the Wallabies' first home World Cup since 2003 will begin at Optus Stadium. And that's on the 1st of October against debutants ranked among the tournament's lowest placed sides. Now, hopes of a blockbuster Wallabies All Blacks opener in Perth were dashed with the Trans-Tasman clash instead set for Sydney. Optus Stadium will still host 7 matches, including 4 pool games and 2 round of 16 fixtures. New Zealand face Chile in Perth the day after the opener, while other fixtures include USA versus Samoa, South Africa versus Romania, and a headline pool clash between Ireland and Scotland. On that note, it is a wrap from my side for now. I'll have more in the next hour.
Thanks for that, to me indeed. We will certainly talk about a lot more sport in an hour.
For 90 years, one voice has informed, challenged, and connected a nation. SAFM, South Africa's national English public radio station. Established in 1936 as the SABC's very first service, the A program, evolving through the English service, Radio South Africa, to SAFM in 1995, shaping thought and strengthening democracy. From a full-spectrum station to a trusted home of news and talk, SAFM continues to lead the conversations 90 years strong. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
So all week long we're saying yes to a first for Africa. For the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil, and it's happening in Franschhoek in the Western Cape. So say yes to the first artist reveal on the Archer stages, and the names are stellar, really. Salif Keita, Mandisi Diantis, Billy Monama's guitar convergence, and the Kasivan Ama Big Band experience. And then, that's not all. Say yes to the Jazz Village with intimate performances by Madala Kunene and Sibosile Kaba and Kwanti Lee, with Herbie Tswale and Andile Yenana, and there's more. Ayanda Sikade and Sisonke Konti. Now, if you're looking for a name and you think that name is not there, it's bound to happen. This is just the beginning. Get your tickets for the Archers at ticketmaster.co.za. The Montreux Jazz Festival Franschhoek, presented by Nedbank. Say yes.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Okay, and let's get back then to the ad hoc committee with a reminder. Feel free to just deposit your voice notes, so we'll bank it and play that as soon as we get the opportunity.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee, live on SAFM.
I just want to understand what you mean. And while the evidence leader was questioning, you said it a few times as well.
Yes, Chair. Then I still stand by that point to say that no, there is either there's no positive outcome or there's no response at all. The public protector have already clarified that. So the Treasury, then we lodged a complaint, but the complaint revolves around the CPN report. If you see the recommendation of the CPN report, they said, some of the tender collusions must be reported to the Treasury. So, but that was supposed to be done by SAPS management. They didn't do it, but on our own, because we have interest on these issues. We take the matter to the SARS. The last step that response came from Treasury was through the late Minister Tito Mbowe. So he did express interest on these issues, but he said no, the department is busy. That is how far that matter went. So SARS, we lodged a complaint in terms of tender collusion or VAT evasion so then the SARS didn't come to us at all. When I made a follow-up, said that no, kindly give us progress on this report. So there is issue of confidentiality. So that we didn't receive any response at all. So Public Service Commission, the last report that we got it was disappointing. In fact, it doesn't move any issue any further. So, but we have realized that, SAPS management, because the last submission that they made was that they met the former minister, Kele. So, from what we got from them, they said the department does not cooperate. So, when we get that response, we said we are disappointed because you have power in terms of the constitution. You can subpoena these managers to come to account. You can request documents using that power as enshrined in the Constitution. But they didn't do anything. But the reply is in one of the annexes. I think when we make a copy, honorable members will be able to go through. But our report was quite strong, our reply to what they said to us.
In paragraph 30, you did speak about applying for multiple posts. You didn't get some. You weren't shortlisted for some. You said you appealed the process because you found people that applied for the job or got the post didn't apply for the jobs. The MPA decided not to prosecute. 3 members again suspended. 2 of them, and one dismissed. 2 of them appealed and are consequently back at work again. Again, here you spoke about raising these concerns with General Sintamula. Again, no positive response. But I'm not going to labor on that point. You explained yourself with a positive response. And then my last question that I would like to pose to you is you seemed also not to find yourself aligned with Pop Crew, who ultimately rejected your request. I think it was in paragraph 32.4, as your principles didn't align with your proposal. Nor did you find any other institution outside of SAPS to assist you financially. You then joined SAPU and PSA to diversify your union representation, if I understood you correctly. Yet you say SAPU didn't assist you either. You continue to say that I think you laid a case with the Labour against PSA. Now, I want to ask you, not whether I think it's right or wrong, I just want to ask you ethically, to join PSA and ASAPO and then hold them to account for not assisting you with a case that's retrospective, that was already pending. Do you think that's ethically correct? Considering at the time you were also rejected then by Pop Crew.
Yeah, through Chair, maybe I have to clarify something. When I joined the lab, when I joined my colleagues, I was already a PSA member. So, but now, because of these things, the bargaining council share threshold, then I found that they were active in POPRO. So when I joined POPRO, I affiliated to POPRO, meaning that I have dual membership, PSA, because when I came to SAPS, which is predominantly POPRO sector, then I just joined because maybe the influence, I joined SAP. I joined POPRO.
Right, I'm just reading from paragraph 32.8. It says it happened that I and Colonel Ramolobe joined SAPU and later PSA to mitigate the risks of relying on one union. Prior to this paragraph, only Pop Crew is spoken of. So are you chronologically saying that this wasn't after the fact?
No, Chair, through Chair, I'll pass because it doesn't relate to me, it relates to two colleagues. I'll pass this question to them.
Through you, Chair, your question, Honorable Member, is on 32.9.
No, well, it starts at 32.8. This is what I just read. It carries on to say, I and Colonel Ramalobe did approach SAPA to assist in the payment of legal fees in Lieutenant General Polani's lawsuit, but in vain. Then it talks about PSA and also unsuccessful. And then it carries on to go to the Department of Labor. So starting at 32.8, where it says that I and Colonel Ramalobe joined SAPA and later PSA to mitigate the risks of relying on one labor union. So it reads, that's why I'm asking you, it reads as if you joined them afterwards and then wanted to hold PSA accountable for not wanting to assist you.
No, not exactly through you, Chair, Honorable Member. Because the statement is we are still supporting that. But to say we are holding them accountable for not representing us, it's another thing. Because for SAPO, I want to bring it on record to say in unions politics, the reason why we joined SAPO, or I joined SAPO, it's after the intervention of one Mr. Vavi, who was a secretary for SAFTO, and SAPO was the affiliate to SAFTO. Then when he was assisting us and sourcing advocate Ngugaitobi Senior and advocate Mpofu Senior. That is when SAPO was also involved in that engagement. That is when we were convinced to say, join SAPO because PopCrow now, they are dropping you somehow, they're not aligning with your line of argument. That's when we joined. And then Malaji was at PSA already. That's why Malaji is the one who filed the complaint with Department of Labor regarding PSA. But for SAPO, when they dropped us, we said, no, it's fine, because it's after the effect that you are alluding, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Sopa. Honorable Sokanyile, until 16 hours.
Thank you very much, the Chairperson. Greetings to you. Going straight to the first question on paragraph 24. On paragraph 24, you are claiming that General Pahlane, Lieutenant General Pahlane, issued a statement claiming that the CPN report has cleared him. He has done this immediately, assuming office as the acting National Commissioner. Is it your evidence that General Pahlane acted irregularly when him and Lieutenant General Nkwa resolved that the CPN report has cleared General Pahlane.
Through you, Chair, we think the step that they took, in respect of the meeting that the two generals had, we think the conduct was also not only irregular, it was also unethical. I'll give you the reason why I'm making this statement. Because my colleague presented before this committee that General Nkua was instructed by General Pierre to implement the recommendation of the CPN report. By the same logic, she knows that the CPN report implicates General Pahlane because that was the discussion of the meeting we had with General Pierre. So when she sits with General Pierre, I think she was supposed to maintain a different view, to say that if maybe she was pushed to agree to his submission that the report cleared him, I think she was supposed, being ethical or professional, she was supposed to raise an issue to say that, hey, General, I know maybe this is a submission that this report cleared you, but there's something that's in my mind. If I remember, I had a meeting with General Pierre, we were with members, then we clarified these things. The report makes adverse finding against you. Anyway, the head of the lab. So I can't agree with you with the submission that this report cleared you. I think that was the position that she was supposed to take, Honorable Member, in my view, my honest view.
Then why could he issue a statement knowing that the report is still there with those adverse findings and say that the report has cleared him?
Remember, there's another dynamic to what the Honorable Member is raising, Chair. The person who was in charge was the overall commander of the South African Police Service. He can have an influence to all members down his office. I think that is the dynamic that was playing there. So anything that the general says, because it's an overall commander of the subs, we can't oppose. And I'll give you an example again. We did oppose some of the things they are doing, but you see where we are now. Then we've been victimized, we've been charged, then there's civil litigation pending against us. So in other words, it's either they collude to this act or there is this view that, if I oppose General, maybe there are no favor that I'll retrieve from his office. But to be honest with you, he has got powers. That's why that post, all of people that are looking after it. Once you are general, you are acting general, national commissioner or national commissioner, you have all the powers. That's why maybe she succumbed to but if she was ethical, she was not supposed to even succumb. She was supposed to correct him.
Just through you, Chair, can I add? Thanks, Honorable Member, and thanks, Chair. The committee will appreciate to note, or after General Pahlane was appointed acting national commissioner, all senior management who were working with General Pierre, I don't know, it will be good to say were purged, but let me say they were suspended, some were dismissed, some were subjected to what we are stating today, it's occupational detriment. E.g., the late General Mbegela, she suffered a lot because she was alone. But with a group of all people who were working with the then General Pierre, including General Setol, I think he was deputy, he was demoted to lead divisional commission VIP protection. And then the late Mbegela, she was somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, she was suspended, subjected to a lot of mental problems, so to mention that she was late. And then the only person who survived the sword is General Nkua. Okay. That is the only person who survived the sword, supporting what my colleague is saying. Or she didn't object, even though we were sitting with her in the meeting with General Pierre, and she was instructed. We have letters here from Pope Group. If I can, I don't know, I'll eat your time, Honorable Member. The paragraph, this sign is signed by the General Secretary, Nkosinati Teledi. paragraph 4 of the letter, it is worth to indicate that we will not repeat the entire wording of the allegation indicated in the report, but rather we will concentrate on the finding and the recommendation made. We take note of the finding and the recommendation relating to allegations stated above, and we are of the view that immediate implement of all recommendations made here within 7 days receipt of the letter. That is the letter from Popcorn. That letter was not entertained by General Ngowa.
Okay. Then you're going to say that even Lieutenant General Makadlela suffered the same because you have put your hope and trust to him now, because somehow in paragraph 26.3, you are saying that at least somehow he tried to listen to your issues of complaint and complaint of victimization, and he wanted to table the CPN report, but he was immediately suspended. So he was also the victim of that. Are you saying that? Or is there another reason why was Lieutenant General Makadlela was suspended immediately?
Through you, Chair, before I respond to the Honorable Member, I want to state, Chairperson, or document that are presented before the committee promoted most of the people, demoted most of the people, victimized most of the people. Depend on how you handle it. But as to how General Makadlela was suspended, the newspaper article reads he was suspended because of a misuse of state vehicle. That is what we got. He was suspended by Lieutenant General Tsumani.
So it means that even yourselves who don't know why he was suspended.
What we know is he was suspended because of that. But if you check, there are a lot, not to say we are defending him because he came to our rescue. What he was doing was very good, and we are still stating if he was not suspended, everything was going to be fine, because he was a very sharp and straightforward person, taking account his qualification on implementing this thing, because he's an advocate with an LLB qualification. He was there to really support, because this disciplinary hearing is because of him. This suspension and dismissal of Brigadier Morabit is because of General Makadlela.
Okay. In paragraph 26.5, what were the reasons provided by Lieutenant General Sbiya for you to apologize to General Pashana?
Through you, Chair, to be honest, we were very much disappointed, taking the history of him, starting from the charges he was charged. And in the meeting, I said, we came to you because we believed you know our suffering. But the first approach with him, it was quite when we were giving him document. Surprisingly, on the last meeting, when he said we must apologize to General Patlani, note, honorable member, so that is his reasoning, so that your career movement can be clear. It's somewhere concerning. And he said we can go to the media to sort out this thing of legal suit, and I can go to Moria. Others, they can go to consult with Sangomas. It's very much disappointing coming from a very senior officer like him, sitting with a very senior officer again, General Ramorena Tswai, sitting there. Because after that meeting, honorable members, we requested the minutes of the meeting. Till today, we are not been favored with that minutes. The staff officer was just ignoring us, Afenant, Colonel Afenant. She just ignoring our call and said, no, I don't have those minutes. I phoned the General Ramorena to say, General, how do you find the comment made by General Sevilla in that meeting? She responded to say, I was very much little bit disappointed, but I'll make arrangement that you go and see General Divisional Commissioner Legal, General Chamani. That meeting never responded because when I was following up on the undertaking of Major General Ramorena Tswai, she was not responding. If she responds, I'll call you later. Then I took it to myself to go to the office of the Lieutenant General Chumani. I found the staff officer, I made an appointment. He sent me an SMS, a WhatsApp message here, but it's the staff officer responding to my request. The general said he doesn't want to see you. Full stop. I said thanks. That was my response. I sent a moja to say thank you. Then I left him like that.
Okay. You lodged a complaint of fraud against the panelist with IPID. Then a criminal case was registered under Pretoria Central. There is a case number that is paragraph 30.5. But the NPA declined to prosecute. What do you think were the reasons why the NPA declined to prosecute?
Through you, Chair, that is when after Mr. McBride's contract was not renewed, then we had a new head of IPID. Then the whole team of IPID was restructured. The investigating officer that was handling my case, she was transferred, I was told, KwaZulu-Natal. And then one Miss Loto, I don't know or not, the surname is still correct to say Loto, she's a woman. I don't know status now. Then she invited me to go and see the prosecutor because I was on a neck to say why my case is not progressing. Then I went to the meeting with the prosecutor and the investigating officer being Miss Loto. Then the prosecutor told me in my face, honorable member, to say, you can't win this case. Even if you take all the textbook of criminal law, you'll never win this case. So I'm not prosecuting. I said, but look, there is alteration, there is a lot of things that you can get. He said, no, we can't prove common purpose. I say, common purpose, how can you not prove it? Because it's one page alteration, panelists signed there. Common purpose is there. Said, no, I'm not prosecuting. Then the thing went to, we received a report by Ms. Loto to say NPA declined your case.
They gave you a report?
Yes, there's a report here, the way they take. Then I said, why we not reviewing the decision? Because IPID invested a lot of public funds to investigate this thing. It took you a year to investigate. She said, no, we can't. You
Right.
can do
That's
it.
where we're going to leave it for the moment. I know it's interesting. I know it's important. There are many other things. We'll get back there in a moment to the Parliament Ad Hoc Committee. But right now it's 4 o'clock. Here's the news with Kolofelo Tefu.
Thanks, Ashraf. Top stories at 4. Lamola hits back at critics over action on Israeli Deputy Ambassador, and IEC Limpopo briefs media on election preparations. Good afternoon. International Relations and Cooperation Minister Ronald Lamola has lambasted those criticizing action taken against the Israeli Deputy Ambassador to South Africa, Ariel Sidman. Lamola says DECO had a number of engagements last year with Sidman to try and express its views on the constant attacks that he directed at President Cyril Ramaphosa and the government. He also indicated that Pretoria will not drop its International Court of Justice case against Israel.
We have not taken the decision lightly. It was after repeated misconduct by the charge d'affaires of the Israel embassy, who was called to DERCO many times last year as a demarche to call the diplomat to order to behave in a manner that the guests and diplomats are supposed to behave through the protocols and the Vienna Convention, how it guides us.
Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Pakistan, has confirmed that South Africa remains eligible for the Africa Growth Opportunity Act. This as U.S. President Donald Trump signs the Trade Preference Program into law. The reauthorized AGOA program has been extended for 1 more year until the 31st of December this year. It gives some sub-Saharan African countries duty-free access to export products into the U.S. market. Tau was addressing the media on the sidelines of the Afrexim Bank accession signing ceremony in Johannesburg.
We, of course, know that there have been people that have been calling for an out-of-cycle review of South Africa's participation on the basis that, in fact, they would want to encourage a more bilateral engagement with South Africa. We continue to hold a different view about the need to extend AGOA. And yes, if you want to engage with South Africa on a bilateral basis, we do have an appetite to do that. And it's important because South Africa has been the leading country in utilizing AGOA, and they are a critical value chain.
The Madlango Commission has heard from Witness F how a warrant of arrest for entertainment blogger Musa Kaula was effected. This was after suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibia was allegedly pressurized by the office of the Deputy Police Minister Kasal Matale. The warrant was about social media posts written by Kaula about ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula and businessman Zingumalo. Witness F's evidence was being led by Advocate Matthew Cheskelson.
So Z was of sufficient importance, together with Mr. Mbalula, to warrant this action against Mr. Musa Kaula.
That's correct.
And your evidence was that it was reported to you by General Sabia that he had been pressurized by the Deputy Minister to do this.
That's correct.
And who was the Deputy Minister at that stage who you understood to have pressurized General Sabia?
Mr. Kasal Matale.
The Electoral Commission in Limpopo says the municipal boundaries are unlikely to change ahead of the 2026 local government elections. The provincial IEC Commissioner Ngaruma Teta says they've started with the process of informing the voters about their voting districts. She was addressing the media in Polokwane on the preparations for the elections.
In Limpopo province, the number of wards remain unchanged at 568. The Commission will now proceed with the next phase, which is delimitation of voting district boundaries. Currently, Limpopo has 3,216 voting districts. This number may increase or decrease slightly for local government elections 2026, depending on final delimitation outcome.
The Western Cape Minister of Police Oversight and Community Safety, Andrew Murray, has condemned the shooting that claimed the life of a City of Cape Town councillor Lazola Gunxe in Crossroads. 48-year-old Gunxe was shot and killed shortly after a meeting he had coordinated in the areas yesterday afternoon. Murray says the killing is deeply concerning and has urged police to act quickly to find those responsible.
I extend our sincere condolences to Councillor Zola's family, friends, colleagues and the community served during this extremely difficult time. I encourage residents to make use of this anonymous reporting platform so that those responsible for this tragic act can be held accountable.
And finally, further afield, the International Energy Agency has warned that the availability of critical minerals for renewable energies will be a huge challenge to energy security. The BBC's Jonathan Josephs has the details.
China controls most of the 20 critical minerals that the International Energy Agency is increasingly focusing on. Copper, lithium, rare earth elements and other minerals are important in modern technology, including in renewable energy generation and storage. So world leaders want to make sure they have reliable and affordable supplies.
The top story at 4 back home, DECO Minister Ronald Lamola has lambasted those criticizing action taken against the Israeli Deputy Ambassador to South Africa, Ariel Sidman. Headlines at 4:30 for SAFM News. I'm Kolufelo Defo.
In sports this hour, Smith and Berger named Team South Africa flag bearers for Winter Olympics. Diale hails impactful first 100 days as Netball South Africa president, and Banyana announced 38-member squad for COSAFA and Women's Africa Cup of Nations. More details at 4:30.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, Santon Drive westbound is where crashes reported at Greyston Drive and a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound after Allendale Road. In KZN, Umgeni Road westbound slow moving through Springfield Park and a stationary vehicle on the N2 northbound after Kwamashu interchange. In Cape Town, the M3 both ways slow moving towards Rhodes Drive and the N2 outbound slow moving towards Bunga Avenue. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
You can become a victim of a legal problem. Wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Morning Brief.
You were saying something about it being spelled in isiXhosa, but it's not actually an isiXhosa word. Say a bit more about that.
Yes. Gqeberha coming from the Khoi and San languages. You know, there are many of them in those groups, Khoi and San languages. There's nothing called Khoi San as a language. It's just a group of people. There are people are called Khoi, there are people are called San. And then they form, they are bunched together. But they've got different languages. So Gqeberha is coming from one of those languages. But now, when it came now to the spelling of the town, then the spelling now had isiXhosa influence. Instead of going deep and check as to what exactly, how this name should be spelled, the language it comes from.
Dr. Xolisa Chongolo, who serves as the Eastern Cape Senior Provincial Manager for the Pan-South African Language Board.
Tulasizwe Simelane on The Morning Brief. The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
So I know we touched on it yesterday, but then confirmation came today that John Steenhuisen will not seek re-election as the leader of the DA, and his reason, he wants to pay attention to his role as the Minister of Agriculture because the issues of foot and mouth disease warrants far more attention than he can do if he's doing two dual roles, that of leader of the party and then as a minister. So it's going to be a case of out with him as the leader of the DA. Who replaces him, we shall see. What do you think? Is that a good thing for the DA that he's out or is set to be out? Or is that a bad thing for the DA? You can send us a WhatsApp voice note and we'll play that as soon as we can. But right now, let's get back to Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM.
The reason we are saying it's not like we're not taking it seriously or making follow-ups.
I'm asking because I am the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Constitution.
We'll clarify. We'll get the correct.
Yeah,
correct
please
name,
get us that detail so that we were able to meet halfway as well.
Noted, Honourable Member.
You speak about theft and loss of rhino horns, narcotics, drugs, and all that. And fortunately, you're not the first people who came speaking about that. Mr. McBride was also here saying there are high possibilities that Ms. General Pahlane was involved in the loss or theft of these narcotics, drugs, rhino horns within SAPS. Are you having the same conviction?
The Honourable Member can.
That's correct, Chair. We're having the same conviction because this matter was already put forth in the Police Portfolio Committee in 2012, where even General Pahlane acceded to that at some point he even found those drugs in the bins. You know,
No.
Members will still.
I don't think you got me properly. I'm saying Mr. McBride made allegations or insinuations of the involvement of General Patlane in stealing those drugs, rhino horns and all those things within SAPS. So hence I'm asking, do you have the same conviction?
No, Chair. It's not General Patlane who's stealing drugs.
Okay.
And rhino.
But he did nothing when the complaint was leveled
The head of the
to
lab.
his office.
That's correct.
Okay, that's fine then. So, in 1 minute, I'm sure you have seen that, you know that we received your attachments just now. So we didn't even be able to read the CPN report. So in 1 minute, can you briefly brief us, what does it say? So that we check if it's also in line with with the relief you seek with us. Just brief 1 minute.
Yeah, through you, Chair, the CPN report on page 185, or maybe we started the finding on some other allegation. The report says there must be further investigation. Other experts, they say unsubstantiated. Others, they were saying they find our allegation to be positive. I don't know, I answered you, the Honorable Chair. Well,
Yes, you did, fortunately.
because on the issue of drug, they said that there must be an intelligence-driven investigation regarding issues of drug. That never assisted.
Okay. Then General Patlane, General Mkhwanazi, General Libeya, Lieutenant General Mohlala, General Mkwenya, Lieutenant General Sintumule, Lieutenant General Mfazi, the late General Musikili, Vuma, Sbiya, Chamane, Mkuwa, Tsumane, Mkakatlela, General Cele Manamela, former Minister Cele, General Masemola, former Minister Nhleko, former Minister Mbalula, the PPSA, the National Treasury, the Department of Labor, all of them did not accede to your prayers. And I want you to share with the committee and the public your feeling. Is it because of that the substance of your complaint is not convincing, or it is because there is a foul play? What is your thinking around this number of people that you have counted in paragraph 28 with state institutions involved, all the former ministers, the former national commissioners, and everyone else was involved? There are about 30 these people we have mentioned here. So should we take it as though that the substance of your complaint is not surely convincing, such that it did not convince all these people, or there is a foul play, as you call it, a web?
To answer it short, Chairperson, it's a foul play.
It's a foul play?
Yes.
Okay. You got legal assistance from Dalimpofu SC, Tembeka Ncukaitobi SC, after having went to a number of NGOs without getting any assistance. How did you finance this one when you were doing the application for the leave of appeal? How was this service financed?
Through Chair, to be honest, we don't know what the arrangement were. We're just happy to receive the service, of which the professionals did.
Pro bono.
They did assist it.
It was a pro
We are not so
bono.
sure because it was not clear. It's something that we are not so sure. Maybe that can be clarified with our attorney, but we didn't pay anything. Hence our appeal was that we have nothing. But there's no clear whether it was pro bono. We just received the service.
Let's take it as pro bono, unless otherwise proven. There is an issue about irregular appointments. I think there are a lot of that are raised there. But I think the paragraphs fail to get to the point of where does it become irregular. You do say you were invited in 2 of them for interviews, but you did not get appointed. It does not become irregular on the basis of you not being appointed. Correct. So you are not pointing us strictly to the irregularities, but specifically, what irregularities were there?
Thanks to the chair. For starting from 30.1 or 30, which one do you want me to attend to? Because it is
starting from 30.1.
Okay, starting from 30.1, it's a irregular appointment of Brigadier Morabedi. It's there in the CPN report. They said her appointment must be reviewed on a national level because they got, when they were doing an investigation, they find
Morabedi who's still in the service now.
Yes. Okay. They find her application was rejected based on incomplete application, but the application somehow got back to the panelist chaired by General Patlan. If you check the minutes we'll submit to the committee the minutes of that proceeding during that day. One Lieutenant General Muno, his name was called here. He was also a panelist, but during the day of the interview, he withdrew somehow. Don't know.
Chairperson, can you tone down there? We are disturbing myself and the witness here.
The minutes of the interview of this Brigadier Morabedi, one Lieutenant General Muno, his name was mentioned in this committee, the one that caused General Patlani and Paul O'Sullivan investigate what, then they started to fight. We have a document here that state or application was rejected, and that is the finding and the recommendation of the CPN report. They base their findings and conclusion to say appointment must be reviewed on a national level. That is one. Till today, nothing happened. General Nkua sitting with that report, she's doing nothing as head of, and even what makes matters worse, she's now the acting Deputy National Commissioner for Human Resource Management.
But at paragraph 30.10, you say Brigadier Morabedi was dismissed. Is it not the same person?
I'm coming to dismissal is based on 30.2.
Okay, you can proceed.
Yes. And then 30.2, it says they will post advertise FS number 93, 94, 96, which I applied both of them. Then I was shortlisted for 93 and 96, not shortlisted for 94. And then I was not successful in both post numbers. I lodged an application, I lodged a grievance with the department, then referred to SSBC. Upon discovery of document, then during my interrogation of the documents, we find one warrant officer, Shingange, warrant officer Vilagazi, now Captain Dagu. They didn't apply for the post, but they were interviewed and shortlisted, recommended for appointment.
Honorable Ngola, I might have disrupted you for 2 minutes. Your time is going to expire in 2 minutes for that disruption.
Okay.
This is a retaliation, I know.
Just to move fast because of the 2 minutes, we reported also the matter to IPID and also our internal audit. Our internal audit was investigated by Major General Matlo. Then finding and recommendation was departmental and criminal, which we opened a case at Pretoria Central.
Okay, I think I got what I wanted to extract from.
Didn't apply.
Lastly, it does seem like there was a bit of course not wholly, of consequence management to those who were found to have flouted maybe the recruitment process. So were you not satisfied with that consequence management that got affected by SAPS?
Pardon, Chairperson.
There are people who got suspended without pay. There are people who, even more rapid, was once dismissed and stuff. So were you not happy about that consequence management? Seeing that there is something that is being done.
We are not saying we are not happy. We are challenging the procedural aspect of it.
Okay.
Departmentally, if a member is charged by a divisional commissioner, confirmed by the deputy national commissioner, General Nkuwa cannot reinstate that member because within the prescribed state, discipline is a line function management. General Nkuwa, she's a divisional commissioner responsible for human resource management. She cannot, when General Ntsumani as a deputy national commissioner confirm the dismissal and say reinstate the member. To do that, honorable member, just to be sure, take you the processes. If the employer, meaning SAP, wants to settle my case, my divisional commissioner will write to the legal services to say, I'm not defending the case, settle. Then the divisional commissioner legal will start with the process of mandate to request settlement. It will go back to my divisional commissioner. The divisional commissioner will recommend, and then it will go to divisional commissioner HR, meaning in CE, and it depends on the level. For brigadier, it must go again to the national commissioner. You can't do that. That's why I said when I was doing my presentation, you can't rob the SAPS. Everything is documented.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Nombalo, the 30 minutes you requested expire at 16:43. Exactly that time. When it strikes, you stop speaking.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, honorable member.
Are you whistleblowers?
So says the court.
So
we believe so, but the court has confirmed that indeed you are whistleblowers.
Okay, so in terms of your understanding, when did you become whistleblowers?
I will respond in this way, Honorable Chair. From the first day that General Patlani sent an email to all SAPS members to say the so-called whistleblower, I will assume that is when he gave us that title to say we are whistleblowers.
No, despite that title that was given to you by General Patlani, in terms of the work that you are doing, when did you start to do that work?
Yeah, through the documents.
When did you start to blow the whistle?
No, that has been long, even before, because Colonel was here. But this is what he has been doing even before we join him. Then that has been our responsibility to report crime when we see it. So we can't say which year.
So General Patlani gave you that title when? In
2012.
2012.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment.
On matters relating to complaints that you lodged in 2011, correct?
Yeah, around, yes.
Yeah. So in terms of the sequence of events, if we are to go in terms of the work that you have been doing, in terms of blowing the whistle, you started blowing the whistle in 2011 when you lodged these complaints.
Honorable Chair, that question is problematic because, as I'm saying, we didn't join the division once. There were those who were before, then we joined them. But as I've said, those who were before is what they've been doing. Then when we join, then it's just continuing with the trend or with the responsibility.
Yeah, but the complaints here that are listed on page 2, paragraph 13, are complaints which were lodged in 2013. Correct? I mean, in 2011.
No, if through you, Chair, if the honorable member can check, there's a gathering before General Patlani arrived.
Yes.
There drugs were stolen there. We have placards on that gathering where we have a picture.
No, I mean your complaint. Leave the incident, but I'm saying the complaints. When were they lodged by you formally in 2011? Remember, there are these complaints, theft of drugs at the lab, theft of rhino horns, sexual harassment, irregular appointment, irregular payment of scarce skills, allowance, maladministration, and victimization. You lodged them formally in 2011.
Chair, the complaints were formally lodged in 2011. But dating back from 2005, Silverton FSL were being reporting this maleficent to our top management at the institutional level.
So how were you reporting them, verbally or in writing?
We were reporting them during the union meetings with management.
No, because in terms of what we have written here, in the case of appointments, for instance, of your allegation for irregular appointments, you start talking about that. Let me see. On paragraph 30, for instance, when you talk about irregular appointments, you start from 2011. You are not starting from 2005. You start from when Brigadier Morapedi was appointed, and you are saying that appointment was irregular. So, insofar as this statement is concerned, there is no reflection that dates from 2005. It starts from 2011. So there is nothing that suggests that you have been whistleblowers from 2005 in your statement.
It's correct. On our statement, 2005 is not reflected. But I'm trying to put in perspective the chronological order when the malfeasance at FSL.
Yeah, but let's go in accordance with what is contained in your statement.
Yes, I'm coming there.
Yeah.
I'm coming there. These complaints were formally lodged when we engaged General Patlani in the meeting. And after General Patlani failed us, we escalated the matter to General Mokwanazi.
No. I get that. You have explained that here. But in terms of the explanation that you have given here, you did that from 2011. That's what you are saying here. So you are not disputing what I'm saying when I say to you, you started to formally report these things in 2011 in terms of what we have written here in your statement.
That's correct, yeah.
Now, the problem I have here, I'm not trying to undermine your grievances. I think in this country we'll need whistleblowers. That is why in the Portfolio Committee of Justice and Constitutional Development, we always make noise about the protection of whistleblowers because they are at the heart of a battle against corruption. So they need protection. But whistleblowing also must be genuine. It must not be opportunistic because whistleblowing is a very important instrument that is used to fight against corruption.
There we are. Important points made about whistleblowing at Parliament's ad hoc committee. We'll get back there in a moment. Right now, let's get the news headlines. Here's Kolefelo Tefu.
Thanks, Ashraf. Good afternoon. In the 4:30 headlines, South Africa has officially signed a partnership agreement with the African Export-Import Bank, commonly known as Afrexim Bank. The Trade Finance Bank is a multilateral financial institution that was established in 1993 to help drive intra- and extra-African trade. DECO Minister Ronald Lamola has lambasted those criticizing action taken against the Israeli Deputy Ambassador to South Africa, Ariel Seidman. Lamola says DECO had a number of engagements last year with Seidman to try and express its views on the constant attacks that he directed at President Cyril Ramaphosa and the government. And beyond our borders, bandits in Nigeria have killed at least 35 people after they stormed through a remote village in central Kwara State yesterday, setting fire to buildings and shops. Greg Hose has the details at 5. Good afternoon.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, Old Johannesburg Road southbound in Centurion has a crash at Ashwood Drive, and the M1 southbound in central Johannesburg slow moving towards Crown Interchange. In KZN, the N3 northbound in Howick queuing towards Nottingham Road exit, and the N3 westbound a stationary truck near Escourt South Interchange. In Cape Town, Kaizer Chiefs take on Stellenbosch at DHL Stadium this evening. Kickoff is at 7 p.m, so you're asked to expect delays on local routes throughout the area. And the M5 southbound slow moving towards Racecourse Road exit. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Tuming Khapele.
Right, to me, it's not so much the Olympic Games as we would know it, but the Winter Olympic Games. And you've got news about South Africans holding that flag.
Absolutely. Let's start things off with the Olympic news, where cross-country skier Matthew Smith and skeleton athlete Nicole Berger will carry the South African flag at the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics, which begins on Friday. Smith and Berger are the oldest members of Team South Africa's 5-athlete delegation. Remember, that's the largest that South Africa has ever sent to a winter game, and both are making their senior Olympic debuts. In Nepal, South Africa President Mamadi Diale says that her first 100 days in office has been impactful, highlighting major achievements on and off the court. Now, Diale, who took over on the 25th of October after servicing as a vice president, pointed to the successful hosting of the Spa Challenge at Ellis Park as a standout moment. The event drew record participations with over 2,000 players registered and saw South Africa win the Africa Championships for both men and women in Malawi. Individual honors went to Vukile Zulu as the best defender, Almir van Berg as the best shooter, and Jamie Gallup as the best defender. In the meantime, Spa Proteas goal defense Tulisile Madonna has described winning a major trophy with the national team as a special milestone in her career. In football, Banyana coach Desiree Ellis has named a 38-player squad for the COSAFA Women's Championship and the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The team will go to camp on the 13th of February ahead of the two tournaments. COSAFA will be played in Polokwane from the 18th of February to the 1st of March, while the WAFCON takes place in Morocco in April. Women's Africa Cup of Nations will serve as a World Cup qualifier, with Banyana needing a top 3 finish, and Ellis has included overseas players as South Africa look to improve on their lost showing in Morocco. In terms of athletics, South Africa's Tsepo Chite opened his 2026 season in record-breaking style, setting a new national 3,000-meter short track mark at the Czech Indoor Gala. Now, the 28-year-old, coached by Samuel Sebeng at the University of Pretoria, clocked 7 minutes 38.17 minutes to finish second behind Portugal's Isaac Nader, who his time eclipsed Elroy Galan's 2014 record of 7 minutes 13.55 seconds. Now, Cheetah now holds 4 national records: the indoor and outdoor 1500 meter, the indoor mile, and newly claimed indoor 3000 meter. And Sebeng's group also saw Prudence Khodiso, the world indoor 800 meter champion, finish 7th in her race in 2 minutes 4.26 seconds. In terms of basketball, Stephen Curry will reunite with Olympic teammates LeBron James and Kevin Durant at this year's NBA All-Star Game, debuting a new US versus World format. The rosters announced last night features 25 players split across 3 squads. Now, the showcase takes place on the 15th of February at the Los Angeles Clippers home in Inglewood, California, and will be broadcast on NBC, coinciding with the coverage of the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. Commissioner Adam Silver said that the concept, long discussed, aims to tap into national pride and revive interest after last season's unpopular tournament format. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing how that one is going to play out. That's it from my side for now. I'll have more in the next hour.
Thanks for that, to me. I wonder whether you'd want to hold the flag for the Winter Olympic Games if you were asked? Would you say, in fact, even what about the Summer Olympics? Have you done it? I mean, it's mainly athletes, we know that. You could well be one of those athletes who's done just that. Right, let's get to the markets next.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
We're going to get to Makwe in just a moment or so. Let me remind you as well, we have a full hour of the markets with Jimmy Moyaha coming up from 6 to 7 tonight, as we do every evening, 6 to 7. So listen out for that. As far as the markets now are concerned with Makwe Masilela. Makwe, you've got news about Vodacom.
Yes, this is the third quarter update. Group revenue up 11%, group service revenue up 12.7%, group financial services revenue up a whopping 24.7%. The guys passed 100 million financial services customers, and it remains a key growth engine. And the quarter benefited from a sustained growth in Egypt and their international business, including strong performance in DRC, while SA delivered modest but satisfactory revenue growth. And sentiments around software stocks went from bearish to doomsday, with the traders dumping shares as fears piled. That's about the potential disruption coming from AI. But later in the session, stocks attempted a bounce back. Iran worries resurfaced ahead of the nuclear talks. Tensions are going up, and the rotation into cyclical stocks persisted. Those are stocks that their prices fall economic cycle. But some traders don't think the market has fully resolved whether this move was based on fear or fundamentals. Market participants expect global growth to accelerate in 2026 as easier regulations and more clarity on tariffs will help to spark investments, not forgetting expectations for additional interest rate cuts, and that could benefit companies. And African Bank agreed to lend SA an initial $11 billion that is to ease our funding pressures, support infrastructure projects and black-owned businesses. And by the way, almost $500 billion has been wiped off cryptocurrencies in less than a week as the sell-off led by Bitcoin accelerates. Oil has been seesawing this week between news of talks to de-escalate tensions between US and Iran and heightened fears of potential disruptions to oil flows. The Strait of Hormuz. Now fears of an escalation of tensions between Washington and Tehran have been rekindled, and Brent crude is down 0.8% at $67 a barrel. And the very same tensions drummed up safe haven demand, that is for the yellow metal. Gold is up almost 2%, just over 5,000. That is $5,089 an ounce. Platinum up 4% at 2,299. Global markets are mixed, but the local pulse is up 0.8%, lifted again by resources, which are up 4%. Rand is flat against the dollar, 15.95, 21.84 against the pound, and 18.84 against the euro.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Makwe. Don't forget 6 to 7. And by the way, the Minister of certainly South Africa's Minister Lamola making the point once again about South Africa's position regarding Israel and saying South Africa will not drop the ICJ case against Israel. This comes from lots of pressure from different interest groups around the world and within our country to say drop it. Like, no, it will not be. We'll get back to the ad hoc committee in a moment.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM.
Resigned.
So he was not fired, he resigned.
He was not fired, he resigned.
Do you know the circumstances surrounding his resignation?
No, we don't know.
Yeah, so you can't say he resigned because of this, because you don't know the circumstances. You have already said that General Patlane is not part of it, correct? Is part of it and was implicated by the report. Who else was involved, according to the evidence you have at hand?
For irregular appointments?
Yes.
Now, Brigadier Agar, we say there's a case of a Pretoria Central case.
Is it not the one who was dismissed and later reinstated
Yes.
through a settlement?
Yes.
That's the one.
Yes.
Is there anyone who has been suspended or dismissed post the settlement between SAPS and those members who were affected?
Not that any that we know, but we've been following this thing in vain.
Yeah, because my great concern as well is that there are no repercussions for all these allegations that we are raising. Now, the question I have is that because of the lack of evidence or there is manipulation within SAPS? And if the latter is the case, how is it possible that all this can be manipulated by different incumbents? Because like what the honorable member has said, that there are many national commissioners who have come in between now and 2011. Does that mean all of them are abdicating their responsibility?
We don't know, but on the evidence that we have, there is just I don't know how to call it, slow pace in addressing this, or just I don't want to implement. Because simply on the issue of settlement, the consequence must apply. And hence we're saying we try to arrange a meeting with the Divisional Commissioner for Legal. He knows about these issues, and his subordinate, they are the ones who signed. Because he cannot say this one happened when I was not there. In the police, when you get a post, there is this thing we call handover. You are given a report as to when you ended. You say, Chief, this is what I'm leaving on your table. This matters we must read and follow up.
Okay.
But we try to source the Assistant of General
Okay.
Chomani. He never
No, I
bothered to
get that.
attend. Yes.
Then my last question. On paragraph 14, you are saying, General Pashane said he cannot open the can of worms.
Yes.
What did you understand him to be saying when he said that?
We have a audio clip, honorable member. We gave it to the secretary. We requested that the audio be played. Then you'll read from the audio.
No, I wanted you to give us context.
No, if quote him, I say, but the reading was just say in short, but he will request the audio to be played through you, Chair. He said the struggle of today is the struggle of tomorrow. What happened in the past, I cannot go back, dig dirt on my members. I can't do that. I can't open a can of worm. That is when we said, it's tough here. Yes. We have him on audio. We had a very official meeting. Then we are reading people who were present in the meeting, very senior officers.
Yeah.
But we take it to he was protecting them. But he's having an obligation in our document annexures. There's a code of conduct in the police that we are made to sign by the office of Lieutenant General Nkowa each year. The last paragraph gives an obligation on a member to say, if you see an act of corruption or you are told of act of corruption, you must act there and there.
Yeah, no, I'm asking because I'm giving you a platform to give your interpretation, to contextualize this. Because this statement alone does not give any clear understanding of what he meant. Maybe your interpretation might differ to his when we ask him to say, what did you mean when you said you cannot open a can of worms? So just give an understanding of what he meant under the circumstances. What was he trying to communicate with you?
I can't do anything. I can't charge my members because he's saying I cannot go back and dig dirt on my members, my senior members. The struggle of today is the struggle of tomorrow. If I'm quoting him, but we are requesting the committee to play the audio, you'll hear him well. It's just a 2 second, if not 2 minutes clip, Honorable Chair. so that everyone can hear, and then you use your interpretation.
So you didn't ask the meaning from him to say, General, what do you mean when you say this?
It was a very hostile, from the reading of it, it was a very hostile meeting.
Oh, it was a hostile
Yeah,
meeting.
it was just a show of power.
Okay.
Different from the first interaction with him.
So you said there's this case that is currently on appeal. Who is representing you
No one, sir.
as your legal? So Advocate Dali SC and Advocate Toby only lodged an appeal, a leave to appeal for you, and they left it there.
Yes, Chair.
So you are on your own now.
Yes, Chair.
So you want the committee to help you, you want Parliament to help you.
Yes, Chair.
Did you approach PopCrew?
PopCrew,
Didn't you say you were members of PopCrew?
we explained the fallout of us and PopCrew. We didn't agree. It's in our affidavit to say when we said this lawsuit it's unlawful and uncalled for. We said call our minister, call General Pierre, because she's the one who instituted the investigation. She must come to our assistant. Then PopCrew said we can't call those people. We say why? Then they failed to explain. That is when we saw something is wrong. We explained in our affidavit. Then we pulled out. That is when we got we on ourselves. In fact, it's not ourselves. It's Colonel Ramolube who assisted us because they're the one who paid Attorney Lishabani. Then he went and represent us, but he said you'll pay me after.
So PopCrew refused.
No, we can't say PopCrew refused. We didn't agree, and there was just you taking instruction from us. We said no, we can't take instruction from you. We are members. We are subscribing. We must talk to this thing collectively.
So I don't understand you. What is it that you did not agree on?
When we say General Pierre must be joined, Minister Ntleko must be joined, but then he was Minister Ntleko. Yes.
Or you wanted them to be joined
yes,
as parties?
As parties, so that they can come to our rescue to say, because in a meeting on the 14th, General Pierre made an undertaking, honorable member, to say, I will instruct General Patlan to withdraw this thing.
So the legal team for PopCrew refused to listen to that.
Yes.
Is that what you are saying?
Yes, they said PopCrew, they said they are taking instruction from PopCrew. They said, no, PopCrew is us.
So the result of which you terminated their mandate?
Yes, then we robbed in Attorney Lishabani.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Attorney Lishabani was paid by you
he was paid
from your own pockets.
Yes.
Yeah, but if PopCrew now says they don't have a problem with representing you further, then how will you respond? Because I've been asking myself that were you not paying subscription to PopCrew for legal representation in the event you face a legal problem? And if so, why are they not extending their hands for you?
Through you, Chair, honorable member, just to, I don't know, I'll be entering another level, but to tell the honorable committee, we no longer having unions. That is my submission. Now to get an assistant from union, it's like you are begging, but you are paying a monthly subscription. Because we went there after I don't remember the date we were called, because we were pursuing this matter. We were called to know you misbehaved. We were called to order.
Yes.
Made to apologize. We apologize, but the case is still pending.
You were called to order by who?
By one Mr. Mbela and Mr. Skade.
Yes.
Yes.
They were called. They called you to order for
head office. We went there. Then we were called to a meeting. That is when we were told, "No, you misbehave. Why did you withdraw our service?" But we said we were not talking same language. Then they said, "No, you must apologize for your behavior." We apologize, Honorable Chair. We want to place in order because we really want this matter to get support from them. We apologize that I want to be on record. But nothing happened after we apologized. That's why I'm saying it's like we are begging for services that we are paying. It's very painful.
Yes.
It's very painful.
Yeah. So
in our submission, we even gave them a court order of where a union was made to pay the cost, thinking or they will reconsider their thing if we take them. But they know we're running short in our pockets. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
And you can't take a union like POPCRO to court. You will never survive if you are financing from your own pocket. That's a big organization.
Yes. So an internal audit is done, and then a member gets dismissed. Then after he got dismissed, then there is a settlement agreement which reinstates the very same member who was dismissed. What is at play here? What is at play? Was this genuine, or maybe there were some influences?
Thanks, Chair. I explained the procedure very well, Honorable Member. It's a play. Because if you are dismissed from the service, you lodge a grievance via SSBC. That is when you want your sanction either reduced or confirmed or set aside. But the reasoning of referring the same is because we were charged expeditiously. It's wrong. We didn't state our case. Audio patram rule. Then when they were about to get a date from SBC, then this settlement emerged, unlawfully so.
Okay. No, thank you, Chair.
And we just to.
Thank you, Khotso Sion.
Sorry,
Okay.
cut me.
Honorable Scosa.
Bakuni.
Tobela.
You know, I was scared when I heard. I'm not sure whether Chair you saw me as well when one of the witnesses said that General Masemula is from Free State. You know, I heard that in politics, you know, especially where I come from, Wakoko, that the security cluster is dominated by people from Limpopo. They will name members to say the cabinet, there's this person, you know, as if we are a federal state. I don't think it's correct to, you know, name people like that, who comes from where. Even in the provinces, in our politics, we still have that issue that people will be saying in the Northwest, as my opening remark, people were complaining, accusing the department there that somebody is coming from KwaZulu-Natal, you know, is bringing people from KZN, the other one says he's bringing people from the Eastern Cape, and they can't work here. This province belongs to Tswanas. I was very disappointed. And hence I'm disappointed to you when you say SAPS is dominated by people from a Free State. You even name them. But I don't think it's relevant. Whether you come from Limpopo or you come from the Northern Cape, South Africa is one. It's a unitary state. Now, in your affidavit here, and your submission, the matter, I'll start with the matter in the High Court of South Africa, to General Patlane, who sued POPCRO, yourself, I think it was Matsimela, Ramulupe, Ramalepe, and Malachi, for defamation of his persona following that media statement, which was issued by POPCRO on the 7th of September the 12th. That's what he said to us here. In a press statement, it was alleged inter alia that he has been responsible for various acts of corruption in the forensic science laboratory, which included concealing or doctoring of crime statistics, declining to take action against an officer who has stolen drugs with a street value of 500 million, colluding with the same officer in the respect of a charged position of rhino horn, sabotaging and fraud prosecution against bogus doctor, and declining to take disciplinary action against the perpetrator of sexual harassment. Is this true?
Through Chair, I just want to question because I think some of the issues, remember, we're still saying our appeal is still pending. So we don't want to venture into the merits of the case while the matter is still pending. So another response from me, or another fact or point from me, is that, when you talk about those allegations that honorable member is reading, I just want to add, or maybe try to highlight that, there was an internal investigation that was based on the CP report. The investigation was conducted by Major General Matlow, then Lieutenant General Jafta. So those reports we don't have. I can't say what is the content, what's the recommendation, but what we know is that General Patlani made an attempt to challenge those findings. Then he was not successful in those. So, but as I'm saying, I think the committee must request those reports. That is my view.
No, but the one who's alleging must make a proof. Hence, I'm asking you: is it true?
Chair, as my colleague has stated that this case is still in court. We can't engage with the details of the case at the moment. Thank you, Chair.
Now, the issue which my colleagues have transversed on, the issue that I think you've raised that to say that because of the union does not want to pay the money for General Patlane, if I remember well. You were sued and you were ordered by the court to pay 350 or 300,000, am I right? Now, you've appealed, am I right?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, now, the issue of an appeal, which might go either way, am I right?
Yes, Chair.
And I think my colleague asked you, because I was even surprised that one of you, I'm not sure whether is the witness number, I've forgotten the surname, you'll pardon me for that. He said that he's got dual membership, am I right?
Yes, Chair. Through Chair.
Thank you. Which I was puzzled to know you're a member of SAPO. If the SAPO calls meeting, you go to SAPO. When POPRO calls meeting, you go to POPRO. But be that as it may, it's a union issue. Hence, I want to come to this question.
And there's nothing wrong to have.
No, it's fine. Hence, I'm saying I'm surprised. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm surprised.
You're surprised?
Because you know why? Why I'm surprised? I was once in your position, and I refused because there was this issue of union that there's Nehau, then there's what's the other one? Some people saying we are joining too because this other one, if they fail to pay for us or to represent us, like what is happening now to you, that the union is unable to help you. Now, I think in your submission, your oral submissions, General Patlane, I think it was more about General Patlane and General Nko, which previously was General Nsi. Now, General Patlane here, as he said, is coming back. We're going to ask this question as well. In his affidavit before this committee, he emphasized for the record that he went against the instruction because you spoke about the instruction.
All right, we'll leave the Parliament ad hoc committee just for the moment, but we will get back there as well, including talking about a fascinating Know Your Constitution handbook, which we're going to cover immediately after the news at 5. Right now, it's 5 o'clock. It's time for Greg Host and the news.
Thank you, Ashraf. SA signs agreement with African Export-Import Bank and the death toll rises in Nigeria attack. Good day to you. South Africa has officially signed a partnership agreement with the African Export-Import Bank, commonly known as Afreximbank. The Trade Finance Bank is a multilateral financial body established in 1993 to help drive African trade. The bank has announced a financial support package of $11 billion, or 175 billion rand aimed at funding South Africa's trade and industrial strategy. President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed delegates at the signing ceremony in Johannesburg.
Finalize the South African Exim Bank country program will be operationalized with a finance package as we had that will initially support a range of strategic projects across the trade and industrial cluster. So today's signing signals a deliberate as well as an ambitious and more impactful phase in our country's economic engagement with our beloved African continent as well as the world.
The Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, has hit out at those criticising action taken against the Israeli Deputy Ambassador to South Africa, Ariel Seidman. He says Durka had a number of engagements with Seidman to try and express its views on the attacks that he had directed at President Ramaphosa and the government. He also indicated that South Africa will not drop its case against Israel at the International Court of Justice.
We have not taken the decision lightly. It was after repeated misconduct by the charge d'affaires of the Israel embassy, who was called to DERCO many times last year as a demarche to call the diplomat to order to behave in a manner that the guests and diplomats are supposed to behave through the protocols and the Vienna Convention, how it guides us.
The retired KZN Director of Public Prosecutions, Moponi Nokos, told in Kabinda Inquiry that the former National Director of Public Prosecutions, Sean Abrams, was justified in authorising a racketeering certificate against the former KZN Hawks Hejahan Boyson. Boyson and members of the Cato Manor Police Unit were accused of operating a so-called death squad, targeting suspects and planting false evidence at crime scenes. The inquiry is probing the fitness of the South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecutions, Andrew Chauke, to hold office. Noko testified that there was evidence against the Cato Manor Police Unit that warranted prosecution.
The police created an impression that the deceased people were posing some danger at them, and they are alleged to have planted firearms, which according to ballistic reports, most of them were not functional or did not match the cartridges that were found on the scene. However, none of the police officers got shot at. If it was self-defense has bounds. If you exceed the bounds of self-defense, you become an aggressor yourself. Firearms were placed there. The deceased were shot in a supine position, meaning that 28 people can't all be killed under the same modus operandi. So that in itself shows there's something wrong here.
The Health Minister, Aaron Motsoaledi, raised concern that many people diagnosed with cervical cancer still lose their lives, even though it's preventable. Close to 6,000 women die every year from cervical cancer in South Africa. The minister was speaking at an event to mark World Health Cancer Day at Kempton Park, east of Johannesburg.
The cervical cancer have got a very high mortality. Cancer is our new pandemic. It's going to be our new HIV or our new COVID-19. There's no question about that. Around the whole world, cancer is spreading like wildfire, and it's going to be much more difficult and that's to fight than HIV itself, because cancer, once you are in stage 3 and 4, it's very difficult. So we want that awareness. We want people to know that cancers that can be eliminated, like cervical cancer.
Red Cross officials in western Nigeria say the number of people killed by gunmen has now risen to almost 70. The region is usually targeted by armed gangs. The BBC's Mokwachi Okova has more.
Armed gangs attacked the village of Woro in central Nigeria's Kwara State late on Tuesday, a local lawmaker said. The AFP news agency says the Red Cross has put the death toll at 67, making it the deadliest attack this year in the area near the Niger State border. Lawmaker Saidu Baba Ahmed told the BBC that gunmen set homes and shops on fire, forcing residents to flee into nearby bush.
Top story: South Africa's officially signed a partnership agreement with the African Export-Import Bank. That's SAFM News. I'm Greg Khos.
In sports, the Sawa Cardoso plays down easy win talk before Gomara Test. Conrad reshuffles Proteas for T20 World Cup push, and Diale hails impactful first 100 days as netball president. More details at 5:30.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 southbound slow moving towards Boysons, the N1 southbound in four ways as a crash on the off-ramp to Winnie Mandela Drive, and the R55 northbound in Barbecue Downs, a crash near Main Road. In KZN, a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound after Hilton Avenue, a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound after Shongweni interchange, and a stationary vehicle on the N2 northbound after Kwamashu interchange. In Cape Town, the N2 in Strand, slow moving at Onverwacht Road. The R44 in Stellenbosch has heavy traffic towards the R310 Adam Tuss Road junction, and Campground Road is slow moving through the Newlands area. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Morning Brief.
What is the purpose of the wall? Because that determines the kind of wall that goes up.
What we're trying to do is keep motorists on the N2 safe. There are hundreds of thousands of people that drive on the N2 every day. All of them are Cape Townians. Maybe 0.5% of them are visitors to the city, but the vast majority of them are Cape Townians. And the road has been unsafe over many years. And we've recently seen a spike in incidents, stoning incidents with people's windows being smashed and them being seriously injured. Lots and lots of smash and grabs, particularly in the afternoon peak hour traffic when cars are still in the traffic.
Mayor of the city of Cape Town, Jordan Hill Lewis.
Tulasizwe Simelane on The Morning Brief. Find the podcast at safm.co.za.
Right, make a note of this, right? All week long we were saying yes to a first for Africa. For the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil. It's happening in the Western Cape. It's happening in Franschhoek, right? So say yes to the first artist reveal on the Archers stage featuring, listen to the names, Salif Keita, Mandisi Dianties, Billy Monama's Guitar Convergence, and the Cassivan Ama Big brand experience. And then you can also say yes to the Jazz Village with intimate performances by Madala Kunene, Sibusile Kaba, and Kwanti Lee with Herbie Tsawale, and there's more, Andile Yenana, Ayanda Sekade, and Sisonke Konti. Now, this is that's just the beginning. There's a whole lot more to come. So what do you need to do? Get your tickets for the Archers on sale now, and here's the website, ticketmaster.coza, ticketmaster.co.za. The Montreux Jazz Festival, Franschhoek, presented by Nedbank. Say yes.
The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
Right, so we'll more than likely cross to the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee just now as well. But one of the things that we thought needs your attention is this, right? Section 27 and We the People South Africa have launched the Know Your Constitution Handbook. It's an interesting one because I remember, a while back, and I'm being very personal about this, my son gave a talk at the Mandela Foundation when he was still first year varsity and spoke about the need to do a very basic version of the Constitution and stick it up on your fridge, like this fridge magnets, right? And that's the one thing. And you wonder over the years just how many people know the need for the Constitution but don't actually know the gist of it, and they can't say it in 20 lines. So how do you simplify it to a point of position whereby it's very easy and for all of us to understand? So with that in mind, this combination of Section 27 and We the People SA have launched the Know Your Constitution Handbook. There's a whole lot to talk about it. Let's find out more with Sandra Mojeni. Sandra, good to connect with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Much appreciated. Right. Well, this sounds very interesting. Tell me more, because, I get the sense of whatever it is we're going to talk about, it's about understanding the Constitution simply and getting more people to get their hands on it, right?
That's correct. That's correct. So this handbook has been made to explain the Constitution and link it to real life examples so that you see how it applies to your daily life.
All right, so tell me more. How do you go about doing so?
So the handbook was written to explain the Constitution, different sections of the Constitution, the socio-economic rights, and how basically you look at real life cases you've probably heard about on the news, or even case law itself. Cases go to the courts every day on different issues. So we took those and we took some news articles that have been coming out on different issues and applied the Constitution to show people how it applies to their daily lives, to show them how the Constitution regulates our lives at home, our lives at school, our lives in the workplaces, and even in the communities we live in.
And what would be the number one purpose around doing just that?
So the number one purpose is understanding your rights, right? So, for example, there are 27 rights in the Bill of Rights. These are human rights. Do people know them? Are people able to claim them? Are people able to protect them, to fight for them? You can't fight for what you don't know, and knowing your rights is the first step to protecting them, right? So the point of this handbook is to ensure that people are rooted in the Constitution, because we live in a constitutional democracy. No laws can be made by Parliament that go against this Constitution. So everyone, especially ordinary people, need to realize their power and realize what this Constitution gives them and its promise, because it really does shape the nation we live in.
Do I get it that, in fact, a large number of people, if not the majority, actually don't really know some of the most fundamental clauses within the Constitution?
That's correct. So in 2018, a baseline survey was done by the Foundation of Human Rights and the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. And they found that only 51% of the population are actually aware of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That's not enough if we live in a constitutional democracy. We need more people knowing about this Constitution, especially because it was informed by people's daily lives. And it's an interesting story. 1994, we have our first democratic elections, and we elect our first parliament, right? Our first non-racial parliament to sort of take over and rule the country and move us out of this apartheid era. And to do that, they needed to write a constitution, but they did it by consulting people. They received over 2 million submissions from the public. People were writing them down. People were phoning, leaving voice notes, leaving messages on the landline or toll-free line that was offered by Telkom. And they were giving their submissions of what they wanted to see in the country that they lived in, their hopes and dreams and aspirations. So that's what informed the Constitution we have today. So it's sad that only 51% of the population are even aware that we have one, let alone know any of these 27 rights that we have in the Bill of Rights.
Wow. Now, these 27 rights, I mean, I know you from We the People, right?
Yes.
How would this differ from, say, what government would have put out in popularizing the Constitution? Because I take it this must be a very reduced, simplified, abridged version of the Constitution, right?
Yes. So this is just a handbook that walks you through the rights that you have. So it looks at the different sections of the Constitution. For example, it will look at the right to dignity and explain it. Why was it put in the Constitution? Why did people decide to want a right to dignity as a human right? And then it looks at how it's been applied and interpreted by the courts and daily life. So ordinary cases that you might have seen on the news and seeing how through the courts this has been implemented. How do you demand your right to human dignity? How does it affect the different aspects of your life, the service delivery you get, right? Because it maintains that in every way that you are treated, in every right that is being awarded to you, everything needs to be done in a way that respects and promotes your human dignity.
It's interesting. I mean, the former President Mandela signed the Constitution into law on this day, 4th of February, 1997. So, I mean, we're speaking on a very significant moment, of significant day. But here's the thing. Do I take it that although we're talking of significance, the language is very toned down in terms of easy to understand versus legalese?
That's correct. So the language is just basic plain language, clear plain language, where we take case law and sort of use it as storytelling, right? So that ordinary people can read it and understand it. It's a toolkit. It's for anyone. People who want to run workshops and engage with other people, people who want to have discussions and dialogues in their communities about the issues that they're facing in their communities can use it. It even has a section that is called Activating Your Rights, where we list out different organizations and different Chapter 9 institutions where you can go to find free help. On different matters that you can be facing. For example, our partners at Section 27, if you're having issues on health issues, basic education rights, those are the people to go and contact. SERI, for instance, when you are facing housing issues and evictions, those are the people to contact. The Human Rights Commission is a Chapter 9 institution created by the Constitution to be there for, your human rights violations. Those are the people to go and report cases to them so that we can hold leaders accountable, so that we can make sure that delivery of services is done in a way that promotes the rights that are in the Constitution.
Right.
And yes.
Yeah, carry on, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and yes, you're right. Today is a significant day. Today, the 4th of February, 1997, the Constitution actually came into effect. But the year of 2026 itself is the year of the 30th anniversary of the Constitution. The Constitution was adopted on the 8th of May, 1996, which makes it 30 years old today, this year. And then it was also signed by the President Mandela in Sharpeville in front of the masses on the 10th of December, 1996. Wow. So it's a big year it's a big year of us taking stock, looking back, looking at how far we've come in this constitutional democracy, but also giving ourselves a moment to reflect and look at, what needs to change to make this country exactly what this constitution is envisioning.
Exactly. I think it's a good opportunity to galvanize all of us to effectively live the constitution, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It's an important moment for us to know, own, and protect the Constitution. And at the end of May, actually, there's an annual review of the Constitution. So people can actually come together, make a submission to Parliament to say, this is what we don't like that's in the Constitution. We need this to change so that it suits the kind of society we have today. And the handbook becomes this tool that you can use to easily understand the Constitution.
Okay. I take it it's available in all of our official languages?
The handbook currently has just been put up in English with plans to obviously translate it, but it is freely available on our websites. You can go to Section 27's website, or you can go to wethepeoplesa.org on the resources tab. It's right there for you to download and use it as you will.
Okay, so it's not a hard copy. It's very much an online form which is downloadable, yeah?
Yes, it's very much downloadable. You can share it on your WhatsApp groups if you need to. It's freely available.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds fantastic to me. I'm certainly going to check it out. I'm going to suggest that from your side that We the People, tag SFM Radio and tag me as well. We're certainly going to share this because I think we need to do that. I think it's the type of, champion acts that we undertake, interventions that hopefully will lead us on to becoming a champion nation. So well done, Sandra Mujeni. Much appreciate your time and best wishes for what I think is a fabulous project indeed.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on your show.
Perfect, thank you. There we are, Sandra Mujeni, a researcher at We the People, but putting together in collaboration with Section 27 this handbook under the title of Knowing Your Constitution, sort of simplified form so that you can get it. So go to either Section 27 or We the People. Just Google them and then you'll be able to download this handbook in a very easy to understand Knowing Your Constitution. I certainly give it a thumbs up. I think you should do the same as well.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
With the ever-changing financial landscape, it can be difficult to make sense of all the moves at times. Join me, Jimmy Moyaha, on the SAFM Market Update with MoneyWeb, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 to 7 p.m, as we break down the key market trends, top financial stories, and smart investment insights, all in one place. It's everything you need to stay financially informed and ahead of the curve.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Well, you know, all of this started regarding the Ad Hoc Committee in response to Lieutenant General Mponazi's allegations, right? So let's get right back then to Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM.
As well. There's a lot of meat which we are going to get from this.
Yes, one or two cases that are in our bundle. The one the furnitures was procured, half of it was delivered, some not delivered to an amount of 100 and something, plus minus somewhere there. A case is being opened at criminal anti-corruption.
Yes.
Non-prosecute.
Now,
those senior members were exonerated. Only a clerk was held on the hook.
Unfortunately, my time has expired, but I guess that we will really get into it with all the attachment you gave to us. But thank you so much.
We'll give you the annexures, Honorable Member. Thank you.
You spend your time asking them about themselves when you were supposed to be asking them about the document that they sent you.
Can't do anything, Chair. I just got the document. Why I'm sitting here? It's impossible. Thank you, Chair.
It's now 22 minutes past 5. Honorable James and Honorable Solsai, I want us to take a break. Let me check. Advocate Arens, are you going to have questions to ask here after?
No, Chair.
Okay. And then that other matter, is it sorted? Is it sorted?
Sorry, Chair?
That other matter which I was discussing with you there, is it sorted?
Yes, we did receive the letter, and our witnesses also received the letter.
Yeah.
It's not a blanket prohibition against appearing here. It's a matter of making an application. And then obviously the DG will have to consider whether whatever information he intends to disclose is confidential. It's an application.
Let me explain it. Let me explain it to the members so that every one of us understand where we are with the proceedings. Honorable members, we are with the other witness is Mr. Mashu Kuka. He was supposed to have appeared yesterday, and we said he will appear today. And then today, I received that letter which I circulated with you from the chair of JSCI. That was saying that the chair of the JSCI says she received a letter from the acting DG of State Security, SSA. And the acting DG was expressing concern that Mr. or the witness did not have permission. And then in my conversation with the chair of the JSCI, I expressed my concern that it will not be for us as the ad hoc committee to inform the witness that he does not have a permission. If they know that there is a law that must be followed, they are the ones that must inform the witness that, or we remind you that you must comply with this law. So now they have returned to the witness to inform him that he has not got their permission because the procedure is that even before he comes here, he must apply. They don't stop him from appearing before the committee. He must first apply, and they satisfy themselves that the evidence that he will be presenting here complies with the law. And so for him to appear before us, he must follow that procedure first and appear before them so that they can satisfy themselves in accordance with the law that what he will be coming to present here is in accordance with the prescripts. So we will allow the witness to follow that procedure and then await the response. And then we will see when we reschedule him. Honorable Sols.
Chair, two things. One, is the witness, is his entire testimony things that is considered classified? One. And then two, all the other witnesses, I can only think of one, that also had a position in the SSA. Did they go through the same process before they came to testify? Or did they just come, testified, and then made a disclaimer that there are things that they cannot talk about on the public platform? If so, which in my view it is the case, we must apply the same principle and remain consistent for all witnesses. Thank you, Chair.
The other witnesses that came here were not coming from SSA, they were coming from crime intelligence. So
but the same rule would apply, the same law would apply, isn't it?
The law that the acting DG of SSA makes a reference to, remember, the people who work in crime intelligence are employed under SAPS law. And so there is another legal instrument for SSA. So because the chair of the JSCI has returned to us, and the DG has also returned to the witness, I'm going to urge the committee to observe the law that is in place. Because if you look at the letter which has been written to us, the letter says they have been informed by the third party. So if it might have happened previously without their knowledge, we cannot say because it happened, let's continue to break the law, because it only happens if they know. With this witness, they know. But I don't remember previously having any witness that came to us except Mr. McBride, which was in compliance. And that is why we did not have any letter from the JSCI or the acting DG. But in the case of this witness, that procedure has not been followed, and that is basically why we are being alerted to say the witness has not followed that procedure.
And that's where we leave it with Parliament's ad hoc committee for the moment. Let's get the news headlines. Here's Greg.
And in the headlines, the EFF has urged voters to punish the ANC and the DA in the upcoming local government elections. South Africa has officially signed a partnership agreement with the African Export-Import Bank And at the Ad Hoc Parley Commission, former acting National Police Commissioner Kgamotso Phahlane has been accused of taking some police members to court for defamation of character after they've exposed drug dealing taking place in the police service. There's a full update on that story and other news at the top of the hour.
SAFM, guiding you through the rush hour traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting off in Gauteng, the M1 northbound in Sandton, slow moving towards Grayston Drive, and Paul Kruger Street northbound in Pretoria, queuing towards Lavender Road. In KZN, the M4 northbound queuing towards Virginia Airport and a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound at Cliffdale Interchange. In Cape Town, High Level Road outbound in Greenpoint, slow moving towards Ocean View Drive, and Strandfontein Road southbound in Pelican Park, queuing towards Spine Road. With your traffic update, I'm Irma G.
This is SAFM Sports with Doming Khapele.
Right, Jimmy, lots of talk has been about, well, the African Champions Cup, or Cup of Nations before. Then, of course, it's been about the league in South Africa with, Chiefs, Pirates, Chiefs, Sundowns in the top three. But there's also the news of the knockouts, the Nedbank Cup. Tell me about that.
Well, Kaizer Chiefs start their defense of their Nedbank Cup to away to Stellenbosch FC, and co-coach Cedric Kaizer says that the growing rivalry in cup competitions between the two teams symbolizes growth in the local game. Chiefs knocked out Stellies in the quarterfinals last season on the way to lifting the Guyana Cup, their first piece of silverware in 10 years, and it was Stellies' turn to dump Amakosi out of the tournament this season when they beat them on penalties in the Carling knockout last 16 round. Kaizer says that these results are part of South African football's growth.
I would say that it's true that these past seasons there has been very good challenges between the two teams that with very great football performances on the field and very games that have resulted in a very good rivalry, and that's I believe that's why you say that the South African football is growing because you can find other teams that can challenge the teams that are supposed to be big. And the more you have the teams that challenge each other, the more the league grows and the football in general in South Africa grows.
Meanwhile, Mamelodi Sundowns coach Miguel Cardoso has cautioned his players that reputation alone will not secure progression past Gomora United in the Nedbank Cup round of 32 when they meet tonight. The Brazilians welcome their Motsepe Foundation Championship counterparts to Loftus Versfeld as overwhelming favourites with expectations firmly on a comfortable passage in the last 16 of the competition. And both of these games kick off at 7 p.m. Then Banyana coach Desiree Ellis has named a 38-player squad for COSAFA Women's Championships and the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The team will go to camp on the 13th of February ahead of the two tournaments. COSAFA will be played in Polokwane from the 18th of Feb to the 1st of March, while WAFCON takes place in Morocco in April. And Women's Africa Cup of Nations also serves as a World Cup qualifier, with Banyana needing a top 3 finish. And Ellis has included overseas players as South Africa look to improve on their lost showing in Morocco. In terms of Olympic news, cross-country skier Matthew Smith and skeleton athlete Nicole Berger will carry the South African flag at the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games, which begins on Friday. Smith and Berger are the oldest members of Team South Africa's 5-athlete delegation, the largest South Africa has ever sent to a Winter Games. Both are making their senior Olympic debuts. In terms of cricket, Proteas coach Shukri Conrad has turned his attention to white ball experimentation as he targets a first T20 World Cup title. Conrad, who guided South Africa to last year's World Test Championship win, has admitted that consistency has been harder to find in T20 cricket. Since taking over the white ball side in May, he has used 31 players in 21 matches, winning 8. And despite the mixed results, he remains optimistic after South Africa's first T20 series victory under his leadership against the West Indies. The Proteas opened the World Cup campaign against Canada on Monday, hoping to end their long wait for a major white ball trophy. In terms of rugby, Perth rugby fans have expressed disappointment after organisers confirmed that Australia will open the 2027 Rugby World Cup against Hong Kong rather than New Zealand. The Wallabies' first home World Cup since 2003 will begin at Optus Stadium on the 1st of October against debutants ranked amongst the tournament's lowest placed sides. Now, hopes of a blockbuster Wallabies All Blacks opener in Perth were dashed with a Trans-Tasman clash instead set for Sydney. Now, Optus Stadium will still host 7 matches, including 4 pool games and 2 round of 16 fixtures, with New Zealand facing Chile in Perth the day after the opener, while other fixtures include USA versus Samoa, South Africa versus Romania, and a headline pool clash between Ireland and Scotland. One knockout match is expected to feature the Springboks, with another potentially involving England and Italy. Then in athletics, South Africa's Seppo Chita opened his 2026 season in a record-breaking style, setting a new national 3,000 short track mark at the Czech Indoor Gala. The 28-year-old, coached by Samuel Sebeng at the University of Pretoria, clocked 7 minutes 38.17 seconds to finish second behind Portugal's Isaac Nader. Now, his time eclipsed Erwin Gallant's 2014 record of 7 minutes 39.55 seconds, and Cheetah now holds 4 national records: the indoor and outdoor 1500 meter, the indoor mile, and the newly claimed indoor 3000 meter. Now, Sebeng's group also saw Prudence Khodiso, the world indoor 800-meter champion, finish 7th in her race with 2 minutes 4.26 seconds. On that note, it is a wrap from my side. To me,
I have to tell you, talking about blockbusters, so I understand the Australia versus Hong Kong game is not quite a rugby blockbuster, but if you want another blockbuster, come out tonight, 8 p.m. at the Pirates Paddle Club. Because I'll be playing. I'm just saying, it's a blockbuster. It's all relative to who's playing the game of paddle, isn't it? Yeah.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Sorry I'm late, Sevi. Had to fetch my lucky butter. No worries. Oh, we're teeing off in an hour. Great. We're taking your car.
Can't. It's already taken.
What do you mean taken? It was right here when I left a few minutes ago.
I sold it to WeBuy Cars and made a whole lot of green.
Birdie told me that's the best way to sell your car.
Not only the best way, it's the fair way. Kom ons vat die pad.
Don't be doff, be savvy. WeBuy Cars, geared for a fast sale, geared for you.
Wherever you are in the world, SAFM 104 to 107 is accessible. We're also streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube at SAFM Radio. We acknowledge and appreciate everyone tuning in and watching our streams. Stay with SAFM 104 to 107 as we bring you Commission Live, breaking stories, and thought-provoking lectures. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
Right, Jimmy, of course, your show comes up 6 to 7, but let's set the scene. What's top of your agenda?
Good afternoon, Ashraf. Good afternoon to our listeners. We're going to be taking a look at the national minimum wage. That, for the first time, has increased to just over 30 Rand an hour. Now, while we can all agree that number is still far too low for standard of living in South Africa, it's nice to see that the number is on the up. We're going to speak to a labour specialist around that and try and get a sense of what that means for South Africans. We're also going to take a look at the confirmation that we've now received that in the extension of the AGOA agreement, South Africa has been included. So perhaps the United States isn't as angry at us as we thought they might be. We'll take this as a big win, obviously. We're going to unpack that and see what it means for our agricultural sector and some of the other sectors that would have been affected by AGOA. We're going to see if we can make sense of it, and hopefully we can see whether this is a permanent extension or where it puts us as a country. Then we're going to take a look at quite an interesting deal between the team at the Wiphold Group and Zeda. Zeda Limited, obviously listed on the JSE. They've unbundled one of their assets there, but that deal to the tune of 1.4 billion Rand, we're going to take a look at that and see what we make of that. And then we've got a conversation with the team at Alan Gray, taking a look at frontier markets and how important those markets are becoming in the overall investment landscape at a global level. And then, because it's Wednesday, we're going to wrap up the show with an executive lounge conversation. We're going to speak to the founder and CEO of Lebone Media. We're going to get a sense of how he's built a media empire over 25 years, a media empire that, interestingly enough, is worth probably to the tune of somewhere around the 500 million Rand mark. So we're going to get a sense of that journey and what that journey looks like, and more importantly, some important reflections on how that journey continues to grow today. Before we get to those conversations, though, a sense of what's happening on the markets front. The Rand still above 16 Rand, disappointingly so, 16 Rand and 2 cents, so ever so slightly there. Below 22 Rand against the British pound, though, 21 Rand 91. Below 19 against the euro, but still above 11 against the Australian dollar. A Bitcoin back at $74,000 a Bitcoin. So with that Rand figure, that puts us around 1.189 million. So below 1.2 now. We're almost at half of what we were when the Bitcoin price topped out at just north of 2 million Rand. I think we were just a little higher than 2 million. I'll get the figures and I'll come back to you around that at some point. But on the rest of the markets front, a good day for commodities, even though the gold price seemingly struggling a bit around the 4,900 an ounce level. We're at 4,928 at the moment. The Brent crude price $67.65. Nice to see it stay below $70 there. Silver price had touched $90 a fine ounce at some point today. We're back at $87.67, but it is up quite a bit. The platinum price about around $2,235 a fine ounce. Palladium $1,785, moving in the right direction, but still nowhere near where we were a couple of days ago, above $2,000 a fine ounce. But resource stocks up 2.5% on the day. That made sure that the industrials decline of 1.1% and the financials of 0.87% weren't felt as much on the all share. Overall, the all share finished up 0.25%, and the top 40 almost 1/3% to the green. International markets are a bit weird at the moment. Some are in the green, some are in the red. The Nikkei in Tokyo was quite the strong performer yesterday, is down about 0.75% on the day's trade today. The CAC 40 in France, that did very little yesterday, is up 1.1%. The FTSE in London, 1.5% to the green. The DAX in Germany down about 0.5%. The Nasdaq in the US down about 0.2%. I, of course, have the privilege of speaking to David Shapiro of Sasfin Wealth on markets today. I want to get his thoughts around what is happening at the moment from a markets perspective. Is the volatility here to stay? Is it starting to smooth out? And more importantly for investors, is this the time to be getting in? Is this the time to be sitting on the sidelines, and how we make sense of all of that? But of course, that comes up after the 6 p.m. news. For now, Ashraf, back to you.
Right, lots to consider on your show coming up 15 minutes from now.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Right, let's get to some of your thoughts. Of course, you're on the Pulse. I need to hear what you're thinking. There's lots of talk about that conversation we had regarding the Constitution, the handbook, that is, Know Your Constitution.
Afternoon, Ashraf. Great show as always. You're speaking to Tato here from Johannesburg. At the risk of sounding very ignorant, I'd like to ask, where do I claim my constitutional rights? The reason why I'm asking that question is because I'm a resident of the city of Johannesburg, and I've I've had a problem with my water bill for the last 5 years, where it happened that in the actual office, what they did was swap out my meter number with someone else's meter number, so as to when they get their bill, it comes to me, and that person, mind you, owns a plot. So I am being bombarded by a lot of bills that I do not know where they come from. So where do I go and claim my constitutional rights? Because right now the city comes and just shuts my water off. Every time I explain, this is not my doing, but it still happens. So where do I get where can I go? Where's the nearest store where I can claim my constitutional rights?
Well, listen, I would think the first port of call would be to go to the local council that provides the service that's charging you incorrectly and go and tackle them about that. I mean, have you done that in the last 5 years? Number two would be your local ward councillor, depending on where you are, right? That would be number two. Number three, and I know this is where the cost factors come in, if you're still not happy, to maybe take it to a higher level with maybe a political party that you would be supportive of, to say, hey, sort out this problem for me. Fourthly, of course, is to go the legal route, which I know is going to cost you money. Those are the four that I think you have access to. Are we missing anything? I mean, the fifth one is what you're doing right now, and sometimes social media helps a lot. Besides putting it on the air right now, I would put it on the air and then multiply or amplify that on social media posts by tagging the relevant authorities. They tend to respond. It's the way to jump the queue. They respond very quickly when you do that.
Ashraf and the listeners, I look at the way our constitution has been crafted, and then I realize something. Those were negotiating between the ANC and the apartheid people. When they drafted this document, they worked hard in trying to protect whatever gains that they've made. That's why it's even very difficult to constitutionally get any advantage or get any progress, especially in terms of inequality, poverty, and unemployment. Two, you look at the criminal justice system. Some of the things that are actually disrupting the fight against crime is the fact that the Constitution protects a lot of gives a lot of rights to a lot of the criminals and everything else. Even those that are in jail, they still get a lot of rights. So basically, I think this document it's a very bad document as far as progress for South Africa is concerned. Thank you.
Interesting. You think it's a very bad document? Maybe it's the way that it's implemented, not so much the actual document. There's more comments about the Constitution I'll get to in a moment. Colin from Cape Town, hi.
Hi, Ashraf.
Yeah.
Ashraf, I was listening this morning. It seems like the Eastern Cape, I heard they're going to change another 2 names in the Eastern Cape. Anyway, I can't remember. East London and...
well, there's quite a few. Yeah. So what's your point?
Yeah, my point is, Ashraf, why are they changing names? Because, Ashraf, tell me something. If you design and you build something, you put your name on it, you take the credit, you designed it, who am I to come and steal it from you? Now, before you go any further, Ashraf, Graafrenet. Graafrenet's got old monument buildings and things like that, which was built by the colonial people, whoever built it. But it wasn't built by the ANC. What I can't understand, Ashraf, why don't these people of this country, the ANC, build infrastructure and name it after them? Every highway and byway, it was designed by so-called a white person, has been taken away and put on a freedom fighter's name or something like that. Winnie Mandela, I wonder, William Nicol, who designed that? What engineers?
Okay, so wait, your bottom line, you're saying whatever was built before, those people who built it can name it what they want. And if you want to name something, you build your own ones. Don't rename it. Okay. All right, let's leave it at that. I wonder, I have a feeling somebody's going to respond to that. In Frontline KZN, hi.
Good evening, Ashraf. How are you?
All right, good man. Yeah, your point.
Ashraf, on the issue of the Constitution, subsection 9 of the Constitution, section 9 of the Constitution, subsection 3 and subsection 4 gets to be violated, where it gets to state the state may not discriminate anyone under any grounds, whether it's gender, race, marital status, and so on beliefs. There's this issue which gets to discriminate workers. That says people who are past 35, they cannot get employment. That violates subsection 9 of the Constitution.
So your point about the violation is what? What needs to happen very quickly in one line?
SFBC must stop promoting that idea that people who are below 35 and the issue of discriminating people on issues of employment.
All right.
You cannot discriminate people.
Okay. All right. We got an ad break coming up in Kantla. Thank you for that. Point made. No discrimination.
This message is brought to you by Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Hey South Africa, want to keep your lights on and save money? Let's use electricity wisely. It's easier than you think. Switch off lights when you leave a room, unplug chargers and appliances, and use energy-saving bulbs. They last longer and use less power. Every little bit helps for your home, your wallet, and our planet.
Let's make it a habit and use electricity wisely. Eskom.
Like a mother's love, Mama Money is always there for the things that matter most. This back-to-school season, when school fees need to be sent home, trust Mama Money to help you support your family with ease. With fees from just 2%, you can send money to over 70 countries across Africa, Asia, and Europe using the Mama Money app. Get started today. Download the app now, register, and make education happen. Mama Money. Mama makes it happen.
You can become a victim of a legal problem, wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
You're listening to the National Pulse.
Right, and as expected, there will be a reaction. Shata, you want to comment about Colin? Go for it.
Ashraf, good afternoon, good evening. How are you?
I'm good indeed, right? What's your point?
Ashraf, I'm on my way to the stadium now, Greenpoint Stadium.
Mhm.
I just want to respond to Colin. This Greenpoint Stadium that I'm going to was built by the ANC government. There is a sport that rugby, the Western Province, the Stormers enjoy so much, to a point whereby they don't even allow black soccer teams and the colored teams to play because the rugby takes priority. The name of the stadium never changed. It is still Cape Town Stadium, it is still Greenpoint Stadium because the name was never offensive. So when Colin say that government should build, yes, it is building, and so much can be achieved, and so much is not being done. The whole train that they use all the way from Pretoria in Hatfield to Sandton, that route and the train was built by this government, and it has not been given an offensive name. Maybe he does not understand. They just want to keep their culture and deprive the natives of this world, of this land, their right to exist and to celebrate their culture.
Well, look, I mean, your point is interesting. I mean, you're right. There's a difference between general names and derogatory names, and I think there is a call. If a country or a city is named after what would then be a tyrant or a dictator, why would you not want to change it? And the last part that you make, which I think is important, is based upon Colin's comments. He's literally saying, what we did, we keep. What you do, you keep. And I would battle to understand that as well. So, Shata, thanks for bringing that up. Let's get to lots more comments about the Constitution. There's one about, Steenhuisen.
Ashraf, good afternoon. It's Ndumisa from Waterfall in KZN. It's good that you are highlighting this issue, or rather advocating for people to know their constitution via this constitutional handbook. And I remember in years gone past, It's unfortunate that John Steenhuisen seems to be nearing his twilight of politics, I guess. When he was still just a member of parliament himself and Musimaimane, they will always carry the handbook. And then when something goes out of order, they'll quickly pull it out and point to the section. And I think it's because of that I now really like and reference the Constitution a lot. It was because of those two guys. And yeah, people need to learn the Constitution. They need to understand it.
Yeah, I think
it's
you're
very
right.
nice.
Yeah.
When it works for you. When it doesn't work for you, you must make it work for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're right. At least a basic 20-pointer you need to know. So interesting, based upon the conversation we had, and I asked, remember the guest, about what languages is it in. I'm sure it's covered by everything, all the languages, and the guest said no. She said English only, but it's online. So in Bazima Shalawa, you remember him tweeting, saying, therein lies the first problem, Ashraf. A booklet on the Constitution in English and online already excludes the poor. But I then also responded saying, noted, the resources must be multiplied to fully realize the manifestation of we the people. Also, online only has its obvious limitations, and that's why you are here talking about Shaloa, not just by asking the questions, but by helping to plug those accessibility holes. I think what we realize is government clearly can't do it all. I mean, these are, let's call it NGOs or NPOs, and they need support as well. So maybe they'll do more if we get more support coming their way, isn't it? Here's another comment about the ANC, in fact.
Hi, Mr. Ashraf. Speaking to Kulegani from Chesterville. One question for today is about the step aside that works on other people but have not worked on Figile Mbalula, Cyril Ramaphosa, and all the corrupt people. So when are they coming to account? The chickens have came back home to roost.
So would you say corrupt or allegedly corrupt, according to how you put it? I'm just thinking. Right, let's talk. We got a few minutes left. What about South Africa, Israel?
Good afternoon, Ashraf and your team. You know, Ashraf, the only thing the ANC can do best is to create unnecessary enemies for us. I mean, what do they hope to achieve by not dropping the case against Israel? Thank you.
But why would they need to drop it? I heard Zwelinzima Vavi talking yesterday, saying if there was no global support against apartheid in South Africa, he was speaking at a Palestinian flotilla event last night, saying he himself would not be able to speak at that event. That's why it's so important that you actually have global rallying of support against let's call it an unjust cause. So why would South Africa have to pander to who if they believe they're right? Which is not the same as South Africa running a mess with maybe other things in our own country.
Afternoon, SAFM listeners and Ashraf there. Can you please find for us, Ashraf, regarding this minimum wage? Can you please check for us the CWP participants? It's been a decade now, those people working for peanuts for their decade. Please, man, please. No minimum wage there. 960, 970, 980. Banna. Please, can you get somebody there from Kokta? What about us there? Please, man. Decade there. And we give serious services to the community. Thank you, Ashraf.
Okay, point taken. In fact, I think the minimum wage, your point needs to be looked into, but the minimum wage, as I understand it, now gone up to 30 rands per hour, which will kick in March, so I understand, right? Let's just pick up one, which is very topical, considering that we've had John Steenhuisen now confirming he's not going to be running for the leadership of the DA. Well, what about Joburg?
Ashraf and the SFM listener, you see, if Helen Zille can become the mayor of Joburg, it will be our first time to feel that you are in town when you go in the city, when you go into town of Joburg. It will be it will be viable, everything will be fine. I think even the crime of snatching the phones, and it will be reduced. Everything will be fine. Not these other parties.
Okay, so you are fully supportive of Helen Zille. You believe that you're not even saying she must get the chance. You're saying she will fix it all. I wonder if others feel that way. But hold that thought. You can tweet it out. Hashtag the National Pulse, because our time is done now today. That We the People conversation on the Constitution will be up as a podcast as well shortly. Listen to that. Go to safm.co.za. We'll tweet it out as well. I'm sure Vusani will do that. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, 3 to 6. Set your alarms now. But right now, it's just gone 6 o'clock. The news with Greg.
Thank you again, Ashraf. A call to go to the polls this year.